Hi guys, I'm back again today. It's Friday afternoon about 2 o'clock. I didn't have to babysit today as far as all day the children are in school. But Jill does need me at the house to be there for when Issa gets off the bus. And then I have to go pick up Ife from her private school. Yeah, every time I go I get in trouble with the principal. I think I told y'all the last time I went to get her, I was at the wrong door and I was too early. That was, I think it was Thanksgiving holidays, so they let out a little bit later for some reason. It was 3:15, but today I have to be there at 3. And I know which door to go to, so I hope I don't get into trouble with the principal. I don't think I ever got in trouble with the principal before, except when I was in like 5th or 6th grade, and my girlfriend and I, Cecilia, we used to go into the bathroom and wet the toilet paper and throw it up on the ceiling. For some reason, we got a big thrill out of seeing those gobs of toilet paper stick. It was so stupid. So I got into trouble that time. I think Mrs. Atwood was the principal of the elementary school during that time, and junior high. Elementary and middle school, it's all together there in Lumberton. It's not separated. There's a separate building for high school. But then when I got into trouble when I was a majorette, and I'll see if I can find that old video and link it below, but I've told y'all this story, but I have so many new subscribers, you probably haven't heard it before. So if y'all get a chance, go back and watch some of my old stories from my childhood. They're pretty funny and crazy. Anyway, when we were at Majorette Camp there at Seashore Methodist Assembly in Gulfport, well, Rhonda had a boyfriend who she did end up marrying. They're still married, I believe. I can't remember his name. But some way or another, they had talked on the phone. And so he had planned to come pick her up and then take her to this club called the Vapors. So she wanted me and Ann and I think it was Deborah to go with her. I guess she didn't want to be the only one in trouble. So we pretended like we were practicing our majorette routine. So we go marching down behind the dorms at the Seashore Methodist Assembly was a dirt road. So we took our batons and we were marching down the road, pretending like we're practicing. And it was dark. It was probably 8 or 9 o'clock. So there's her boyfriend there in that old car. I don't know what it was. It was a big car, probably a Oldsmobile Tornado or something. So we jumped in the car and we went to the Vapors, and I can't remember if we got in or not. I doubt we did because we were only 16 or 17, if that, and we had no ID with us probably. We just had our batons. Well, the owners or the managers of the Methodist camp, they were sitting out on their front porch and they saw us. So, of course, they alerted the band director and the chaperone. So, when we got back, they were all waiting for us. So, we got into so much trouble, and they called our parents to come get us. I would have to go back and look at the video, because now I can't remember if my mama and daddy came to get us, or if one of the other parents came to get me and one of the other girls. Lord, y'all, it was 53 years ago, so I don't remember. But anyway, I got home. I didn't get into trouble. My parents didn't give a crap about what I did or didn't do, as long as it wasn't sassing back to them or talking back to them. And then they would, if I did something like that, they would sure beat me till I bled. There was no standing in the corner and timeout or counting to 10 back in those days. I just don't remember getting into trouble. But Lordy have mercy, when we went to school on that Monday morning, we had to go into Mr. Hancock's office, and oh, he chewed us out. And me and Ann, we just always got the giggles, and we would just laugh and laugh over everything. It was ridiculous. Everything would just tickle us to death, so we got the giggles. Well, we couldn't laugh in front of the principal. I mean, we were getting suspended from school. I think we got suspended for 3 days. So we just held our hands over our mouth and eyes and pretended like we were crying. We were really laughing. These things that could have happened, and you know, we could have gotten picked up, we could have gotten raped, we could have gotten kidnapped and murdered, and all of these terrible things. But you know, it had to have terrified them when they found out that we had snuck off, not knowing who we had gone with. If we had just maybe got kidnapped or something, they didn't know. All they knew was that what was seen from the highway there, the main highway there in Gulfport, that we'd climbed into a stranger's car and left. I think it was me and Ann and Rhonda and Deborah. Now Deborah's boyfriend, who she did marry, he might have been in the car too, but I didn't have a boyfriend that hung around with that group, so I guess I just went to go dancing at the Vapors. Y'all, back then it was so much fun. Me and Harold used to go to, there was a nightclub called the Stone Toad in Hattiesburg, and that's when they played, you know, Pink Floyd and all of these psychedelic songs. So we would go there, and I would always wear white because they had the black lights, and you know, everything in white just stood out and glowed in the dark. So Harold and I would go there and listen to Jimi Hendrix and Pink Floyd and all of those great bands from the 60s, and dance and dance. Oh, we used to have so much fun. And then we would, of course, I wasn't old enough to get in, but my friend Phyllis, she was 2 years older than me. And back then, we didn't have our pictures on our driver's license, so I would just borrow her driver's license, and that's how I got into the Stone Toad. I don't know why it was called that. But y'all, I never was around marijuana. I didn't even know what it was. I had never seen it. Even, you know, being a teenager in the 60s, I reckon it just never made it to Lumberton. I wouldn't have smoked it anyway. Phyllis did try to talk me into smoking a cigarette one time, and I took one drag off of it and started coughing worse than this, and it made my head swim. And I did not like it. And I told her, I said, I don't like that. It made my head swim. And she said, well, that's the good part of it. That's what we love about it. Not me. It was never for me. And I never wanted to smoke because I was so disgusted and sickened by having to breathe Mom and Daddy's cigarette smoke all the time. But anyway, I'm going to go pick up these children and enjoy being with them this afternoon. I just love them so much, and I really miss them. You know, if you're away from your grandchildren for a week or longer, they grow a half a foot and come up with all kinds of new phrases and words and things. They're just so cute, and I just am so grateful and thankful that God made it possible for me to be able to move to New York to be near my family. So when I get home, I'm going to finish with the beef. I did check on it, and I gave it a good stir, and the beef wasn't covered up with water, so the little tips that were sticking up were getting dry. So I put about 1/4 of a cup of filtered water back into the crock pot and gave it a good stir, and so I'm hoping it'll be nice and tender when I get home tonight. And I can add the barbecue sauce. I've got to go on Jan Creason's video and get her recipe Pretty sure she used brown sugar, mustard, I think ketchup, and some Worcestershire sauce. And then she added regular barbecue sauce to her meat also. So I'm anxious to have a barbecue beef sandwich tonight. And I found a can of pork and beans. I'm going to be making me some barbecue beans to go with it. I'm just so happy to be back in the kitchen. It feels so good to be able to get in there and cook. Except it was so filthy. It's taken me 3 days to get my apartment clean. But, I could only do one room at a time. I did the bedroom, and then I did the bathroom, and the little foyer, and the landing at the top of the stairs. I just combined it with when I did the little area there with the shelves. Then I did the kitchen floor and the little living room floor this morning. Bills in a minute. I have to get this boy off of the bus. I'm afraid to go under this green light and try to turn when the other cars stop because I don't want to get a red light ticket. Yeah, there was some town, I don't know what state it was in, but they've had to do away with the red light tickets because the downtown businesses weren't getting any more business. Every time people from out of town or even from that area went shopping, would get a red light ticket, so they stopped going there and shopping and patronizing the downtown merchants. I wish they'd do that here on Long Island. Okay, so I'm gonna go and wish y'all a great rest of the evening, and y'all just keep on coming back.